Papapodcasts presents
Students Teaching Students Climate Change.
by Ellie and Shannon.
Hi everyone, I'm Ellie,
And I'm Shannon.
and today that topic that we'll be talking about is the effects of climate change on the economy. First, the most important concept to understand is what climate change is. Our world is rapidly increasing in temperature due to global warming. What is climate change? The long-term change in the Earth's climate, which includes factors such as rainfall, temperature, seasons, etc. Climate change in the 21st century is a result of human activities, leading to more extreme weather conditions and globally higher temperatures.
The economy is affected either directly or indirectly. If the major industries of a country's economy are affected, it leads to a change in the country's exports and imports. This would be an example of a direct effect. An example of an indirect effect of climate change on the economy would be tourism. Climate change affects the tourism sector because people plan their vacations based on weather and temperature of a certain location.
Climate change affects all economies. However, the hardest economies are the primary industries, such as the logging industries and coal mining industries. Primary industries. They use raw materials directly from nature, for example logging, oil drilling, fishing, agriculture, and mining. They are affected the most by climate change because it directly affects the raw materials and resources. For example,
Higher temperatures result in plant deaths. Less rainfall results in lower crop yields. Changes in ecological balances and higher ocean temperatures lead to diminished fish populations. Developing countries' economies are highly dependent on natural resources and are most affected by climate change because they export the most natural resources. So, like I said before, developing countries like Canada, for example, are highly dependent on natural resources and most affected by climate change. They are more dependent on agriculture and natural resources, which are directly impacted by climate change. For example, logging in Canada is negatively affected by the spread of mountain pine beetle. Developed countries' economies are not negatively affected because they have other methods of bringing money into the economy. Developed countries like USA are not as negatively impacted because they rely more on secondary and tertiary industries.
there are also many industries besides the primary industries that are affected. The economies of countries that do not depend as much on these industries, such as the United States, are more indirectly affected by climate change. There are many examples of other industries. For example, the tourism industry. The increased global temperature leads to a longer tourist season, while in technology there is a greater demand for green products, which affects the economy.
Other industries are indirectly affected by climate change because they do not directly affect raw materials and supplies.
In conclusion, it can be seen that while there are many different effects that climate change has on the economy, there are generally more negative effects than positive effects.
And this concludes our podcast.
So we hope you enjoy it.
Woo!